Hey guys, so today is going to be a sit down video, which I never ever do on my channel. Um, this is honestly the reason why I kind of started my channel, was to talk about this, and it was how we got pregnant with PCOS, kind of like living with PCOS and how I got diagnosed and everything. So sorry about my closet and distractions, but this is the best with the lighting. Today I don't have work because it's snowing so bad and the roads are so incredibly terrible. So it rained all night, but yeah, so I finally had time to like sit down, and my son is napping. This is kind of why I started my channel, was to talk about this and bring awareness to PCOS and infertility. And we did do a TTC thing 3 years ago, I believe. I think it was 3 years ago. And we have a son now, and back then we weren't pregnant, nor did we have a baby. And so we have obviously been very lucky and blessed these last couple years with what we have gone through. It was all worth it. And so I'll just kind of backtrack. I never got my cycle, or like I get it like 2 or 3 times a year, like since I got my cycle when I was very young. It was just very irregular, and so I always knew something was kind of wrong. I just, obviously you're not wanting kids when you're a teenager, so I just never took it upon myself to go in or anything, and I just kind of lived with it. And I've never been on birth control or anything, and we got married, and we said, within 6 months, if we don't get pregnant, I will go in. And we weren't too in a rush to get pregnant or anything. I knew it was going to be kind of difficult for us, and so yeah. So then 6 months went by, and we went in, and they kind of said, I think you have PCOS, and we're going to do some blood work and all that. And normally they say that they have you try for a year, but they said since it was pretty obvious I had PCOS, that they would just go ahead and do that, and then they confirmed it through blood work and whatnot. So then I started Clomid and metformin, and we did 6 trials, and I didn't go to like an infertility doctor. I went to my normal, I just went to a normal doctor that does pregnancies and stuff, and I don't know if he just didn't have a lot of knowledge in this area, but he just kind of kept me on the same dosage every month, and nothing was happening. And I think he kind of just, I don't want to say bad things about him, but I think he kind of just like didn't think I needed to, I don't know. But after 6 months, nothing was happening, and then he's like, why don't you go lose some weight and come back? And it kind of threw me, gave me a little bit of discouragement, like, I have to lose weight if I want to have a baby, and I don't think that's accurate at all. I don't think that your weight should depend on if you are eligible to have a baby or to try other things. And then I had lost, I think, about 15 pounds, and I came back in, and he did a GHC, I think it's called. I don't know, correct me. But it's where they go in and they blow up a balloon, and then they see if your tubes are blocked or not. And there was blockage in my right tube. So we started Clomid again, and he upped me 1 more dose, and we did that for 3 months, and nothing. And I wasn't ovulating, nothing. So then I switched to a different doctor, like a different town, and I went there, and they said, you need to lose more weight, you need to do this, and you need to do this. And again, I was feeling very like overwhelmed by that, and like I felt like it was all the weight was on my shoulders to do this. And and of course my husband was very encouraging, and he just, he felt very bad for me that that's what we kept hearing. And so I didn't go back to that doctor, because I just felt like that wasn't right. I felt like that wasn't why I wasn't getting pregnant. I could be wrong at this time. Maybe if I did lose more than 15-20 pounds, then maybe it would have been different. But so then I went to my a few of my friends actually have PCOS, and she said, go to this doctor, I got pregnant, and I really recommend my doctor. So then I went there, and she's like, I'm gonna put you on this diet plan, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And I was kind of like, So I decided to just do the diet plan, since that's what everyone kept telling me. I needed to lose weight, and people with PCOS have to eat differently, and all this stuff. And I was eating differently, and I mean, that's how I'd lost the previous 15-20 pounds. And I just thought like that wasn't enough, and then I started this diet plan for a month, and then something very tragic happened in my life, and my dad was actually killed. So I kind of quit doing all this, and I quit the diet plan. I quit, we quit trying to conceive, and it was just a very, very dark time in my life. And so then it was just the craziest thing, because I've been having to take all these meds to get my cycle. I wasn't just taking Clomid and metformin, I was taking other meds to start a cycle so that we could do Clomid. And then after my dad was killed, the next month I had gotten a cycle, and I thought it was the weirdest thing. And I was like, okay, maybe this is just, my 2 or 3 cycles, I get a year. And then I got one in September and October, and it was exactly on the dot. It was every 32 days, and it was one after another. And then I had seen one of my friends post this article about PCOS, and I had no idea that she had PCOS. And I called her up, and we're high school friends, so we weren't totally keeping in we just were Facebook friends. And then I called her, and I'm like, I hope this doesn't offend you, but I'm like, you have PCOS? Because I do too. She's like, yeah. She goes, we see this doctor, and he's a infertility doctor, and everyone goes to him around here, and this place is 3 hours away. And I was like, at this point, whatever it takes at this point, I'm gonna do it, because this had been, where's this? We had been trying for 2 years. 2 years until this point, until I called my friend. We had been trying for 2 years. That was everything with the three different doctors and losing weight and all that. So 2 years. Did I say 3 years? 2 years. This has been 2 years. And I was like, I'll give this doctor a chance. I feel good about this. We'll just do it. We'll drive the 3 hours. We'll have a consult, whatever. So my husband took off work, and I'm a college student. I decided to go back to school at this time. I don't know why, but I have a degree in social work now. So, so I'm really proud of myself for that. But anyway, so I'm a college student at this point, and we go in and we meet this guy, and I felt really good. He was so nice, and I mean, his goal is to get, I don't want to throw this out, but his goal is to get women pregnant. His goal every day is what can we do? What is the best way right now that we can do this? And so then we started off at a very high dosage, and I didn't ovulate. It wasn't the highest dosage, but it was higher than I've ever been on, and I didn't ovulate. So I kind of was and he wasn't making my drive back. He was just sending prescriptions to my pharmacy. He didn't want me to drive back 3 hours and whatever. And then so we saw him, and then the next month I went another one, and I thought I got a positive. Up until this point, 2 years, I had not ovulated. So I just want to make that clear. I was not ovulating up until this point. And the dosage he gave me, I did not ovulate. The second time, I thought I got a positive. I mean, I had bought so many tests and stuff at this point. I was buying cheap off Amazon, and I was like, God, that really looks like a positive. And we didn't get pregnant that month. The next month, we tried again, and I ovulated, and we didn't get pregnant. And then he said, after 4 months, he's like, you've been on Clomid a lot, and he's like, this is probably our last round, and then I will send you to an infertility specialist, where we would have to do further and spend a lot more money. At this point, we had spent thousands and thousands of dollars at every place we went. And so we were like, okay, this is our last month, whatever, everything's in God's hands. We prayed so incredibly hard, and I ovulated, and I prayed so much, and we got pregnant. I want to cry right now, because talking about it just brings back a lot of things, and I can't believe that we got pregnant. And it was the last time, and it had been 1 year since my dad was killed, and we couldn't believe it. And it was, I mean, all praises to this doctor and he put me on the highest dose of Clomid, got me to ovulate, and I was on metformin, and and then I went through, had a healthy pregnancy, and had my son in April, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever been through, and the best thing I've ever been through, and like, it is, I don't want to cry in this video, but if you guys are watching this, I'm sure it's people that are looking for encouragement and for what other people have gone through. And if I can say any tips, I would say, like, don't give up. And I know that's so cliche, but it was like I was ready to give up at so many times, because we were looking into adoption. We just didn't know where God was going to have us go with this. And I thought, maybe I'm supposed to be someone's mom that isn't from me, that didn't come from me. Maybe I'm supposed to adopt a child, or something's going to happen, or like maybe I'm not meant for this, or, you know. And so now my son is going to be 11 months old on the 12th of March, and he is the light of our lives. He is just the most perfect baby. Like, everything that we have been through with him, like, just everything, every stage has just been great. And we don't have a colicky baby. We're so grateful for what we have, and anything what we would have had, you know, whether disabilities, anything, we would have been so grateful, and we would have been just loving parents as we are now to him. And we pray so much, and we just can't believe it. And so that is kind of my story about how I got pregnant, and it took 2.5 years to have McCoy, and it was the best thing we've ever been through, and I'm so happy I didn't give up. So that's what I was saying, was my tips would be, don't give up, and second is to keep a journal, because I kept a journal, and I look back at it and read how much I went through, and how I was very sad, and I was happy at times, and, you know, just all these different things that I went through at that time, and we're just so grateful. But yeah, so that's all I really have for this, and that's, you know, how I got pregnant. I plan on doing more with PCOS and what else I've been through the last kind of 10 months after having him, and different things that we've been through, and I would really love to talk more about that. So I just want to thank you guys. If you guys stuck it out to the end, I know this was a way longer video than normally what I make, and I just want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to make more videos and talk more about this. I love to talk about it, and I want other people to be encouraged and to know that it will, or it can happen, and, you know. So thank you guys for watching.